As a result of the COVID-19 global pandemic, Lee County was experiencing unprecedented times. Using federal funds granted through the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, the county had the opportunity to create and launch LeeCARES in May 2020. Since its start, the program has provided millions of dollars in assistance to individuals, families, and businesses in our community.
These are very unusual circumstances. People have needs that may have never had a need before.
The unemployment system in the state of Florida wasn't working very well. So you had people who were in danger of being evicted from their homes.
You had schools closed, so daycares became essential for people, having a place for their children to go so that they could get to work and earn money to feed the family.
It was very nerve-wracking as to how we were going to pay bills. Money was dwindling out, so it was very, very urgent that we needed this program to help us get back to work.
I was frightened. My staff, we didn't have masks. We again could not find any hand sanitizer.
We were very worried about what the coming months were going to look like, how long the pandemic was going to continue to diminish sales.
We went from having 150 customers when it was before pandemic down to 20 customers for a month and a half.
It was just a very distraught feeling for me, because how can I provide care if I can't feel I can provide safe care?
There had to be some mechanism to help the people. Luckily, the federal government gave us the CARES Act fund, passed through the state.
They gave us this direct allocation of $134 million, and they said use it to help the community. And so the commissioners knew we needed to create a program that would get this money in the hands of those that needed it as soon as possible.
They gave us all of the authority we needed to pull the trigger and be up and running very, very fast.
We knew that whatever we did, we had to make sure that the daycare centers felt safe to take your kid back to daycare so that you could go back to work, that the business felt safe so the customer had some sort of certainty that they were going to walk into a place that they weren't going to be infected, and that the workforce felt safe going back to that place as well.
This $134 million really became a true lifeline for all of those people.
Clearly that amount of money, the number of people that need assistance, going to require a big effort. So we immediately tapped all of our county departments
to come up with a comprehensive approach to help us both help the workforce go back to work, the customer feel comfortable going back into a business, and then the business to restock, to buy the things they need to do to reopen.
We have a philosophy that permeates the organization, and it's simple. It's simply called one organization, and that is we use the collective knowledge and experience of a group of people to solve big problems. And in this case, it was fascinating to watch it come together.
When we first went to the lockdown, we were tracking the data to understand what the implications were for our economy. Up to 55,000 workers filed for unemployment in Lee County alone, especially in some of the harder hit industries such as the hospitality sector, the restaurant sector, retail.
We wanted it to be a fairly simple process. Obviously, these are federal funds, so we have some auditory requirements, so we had to put some structure in place, but the goal was to get the process as simplified as possible so we could get the funds to people as quickly as we could.
So designing the application in a way that they could navigate but still gave us the information that we needed was crucial. I think the team did a very good job with that.
We followed some existing programs that were already in place here in Lee County, programs that helped people pay their rent or utility bills when they had fallen on hard times, or programs to help out our local food pantries, which are fantastic organizations. So we went and worked with programs that were already in motion. We just wanted to use that money to augment what they're already doing. And by doing it that way, we really got money into the hands of people who needed it much faster than trying to reinvent the wheel.
Once the emergency order went into effect, the county administration asked us to develop a call center at the Emergency Operations Center to assist businesses navigating PPP loans, unemployment insurance, and things like that. And so we were already engaged with the business community in order to provide some kind of assistance or technical assistance.
The call center, it's about not just knowing how to complete that application and how to answer the questions that are coming from that applicant, but it's also processing those applications, what happens once they're completed, and then after that processor, who gets it, and then how long is it going to take to get that payment out. It's not just bringing them in and saying you have to answer the phone. It's having through that phone system. Let's learn the phone system. Let's learn the computer, because if you're in a certain position, you're not always on a computer or even computer literate. So let's learn the computer system. Let's learn new software. Now let's try to do all of that at one time.
Really, to start with, it was our team my department, my team figuring out how are we going to navigate this. But with the one org philosophy of the county, we talked to multiple departments about what they needed, what would make the most sense for them. We worked with county admin to figure out what the goals and the challenges were. And we really just rallied as a team. It was definitely a challenge, but we got it done.
We've got people who are working on the website, people who are working on launching the application, then those of us in communication trying to figure out how do we message what people are actually going to do when we don't even know what that looks like yet.
What my team did is we actually had to go in and put in the vendors so that we could pay the mortgage companies and also the landlords as well as the utility companies. And what we had to do is, because these are companies that we normally don't deal with, so we actually had to go in and get vendor paperwork from all of them. So in the space of when we started, we probably entered in over 5,000 vendors. Yes, it has been a very large task to take care of.
Handling the personal protective equipment, we worked with 2 or 3 different county departments, Parks and Recreation specifically, libraries and facilities folks, and we just came up with a plan on a location. We partnered with Supervisor of Elections and used their facility as a warehouse and a distribution center. We put a team together who would process applications. We put a team together who would take in deliveries and fill cars up with PPEs. And it was many different departments all helping at once, but there wasn't a single person that when they were asked to help said no. Everyone was glad to do it and proud to do it. So yeah, it was really, honestly, the collaboration was very easy.
We knew we needed to get people back to work, help to do that in any way that we could. The United Way approached us and they said, we work with these childcare providers. We'd be willing to administer a program on your behalf if you're interested. And of course we were.
From the beginning of the pandemic, we realized that there was a great need for childcare in our community, and that was because of the 211 calls that were coming in. Once we heard that the schools were closed and the students were learning from home, it became apparent that parents needed to go to work to still provide for their families, because a lot of places were still open, but they couldn't afford childcare. And so when the CARES dollars came through, it just seemed like a natural partnership to talk to the county about offering scholarships for these families so we could stabilize them.
It was super crucial for me and my husband to get back to work after being off for 3 going on 4 months, and being at home with the kids during all that time.
I could see the fright in their face in regards to, what am I going to do? My hours are cut, but I still need to send my child to daycare in order to go to work. I can't afford daycare if my hours are cut.
There is no price tag for safe childcare and that peace of mind that families receive when their child is with a reliable caregiver. And so we started seeing that families were making a choice. Do I return to work, or do I stay home with my child because I can't afford childcare right now? And so this scholarship really allowed the opportunity for families to return to the workforce and strengthen their family, provide that stability that they were looking for.
This project has not only done a great service to our families in the community, but what's also happened is that we've opened up more partnerships because of it. And so we're continuing to help people. We're working with Department of Human and Veteran Services now on a couple projects that they have coming up. We're able to make those connections, and the stronger the partnership is, the more solid our community is going to benefit from it.
I wish you could have seen the people come to the table from Parks and Rec, the library system, from sports development, from the from tourism, from emergency medical service, and the list goes on and on.
We mobilized around 150 county employees from every single department across the organization.
For me, my day job is tourism, the director of tourism here in Lee County, and certainly not normally doing this job, but pulling together with people from utilities and Parks and Rec and Human Services.
My team really rose to a challenge that we had never had before. We were asked to deploy multiple call centers, start up some new programs we had never done. Of course, that led to a lot of really late nights and early mornings and long weekends that we all worked.
Well, I'm an old Parks and Rec guy, so it's always about helping the community. And to me, that was one of the most important things, is that we were able to help our community be able to survive something like this. The other piece of it is our employees. You get to realize how great a group of employees we have. Not only those that participated in the CARES Act program themselves, we had people that were working in the CARES Act that when they got done of a shift all day long, they went home and helped people sign up for the CARES Act on their own. That's a level of commitment you just don't get. But also the people that stay behind in their departments to make sure that our county continue to operate, that we continue to provide the utilities and other services, garbage and all the other services that we provide. We were still able to do that at the same time.
The county did a great job of publicizing the information. There was an industry call that went out through the Lee County VCB. There was Facebook posts. It was on the news. I got an email. It just was publicized throughout the county.
I heard about the LeeCARES program on the news, actually. I think they kind of teased it out a few times before the process opened, and so when they announced the date, I was ready to log on and apply.
And I think it was the next morning, if not afternoon, I got our answer back that we were approved.
It was very simple, very quick, and very easy. Like, far easier than all the other programs that were in place.
We filled out the form. The next day, we got a phone call telling us where to pick up the equipment.
We applied for it, and I think that same day we actually got a call verifying that they had all of our information. Just a really easy process.
When I found out that I was getting the assistance, I was relieved, like really relieved. It was one of those times where just like nothing was going good, and there was so much stress on everything in my business. It was like the one good thing that was coming my direction, and so it was like a breath of fresh air in the midst of a whole lot of negative. So
What was incredible really was we set up the transparency dashboard that showed us how many applications were coming in, how many dollars were actually sent out. And what was incredible was to watch like thousands of calls a day, people calling in, millions of dollars going out to the community. And that, I think, was the most rewarding part, was seeing like, wow, this actually did make a difference and the need was there,
Anytime you get to help people, they're incredibly grateful. And the feedback from the recipients, just you've saved my life this month, those kind of comments, it's very gratifying knowing that you've helped someone through the process. And truthfully, many of these people have never applied for assistance in their entire life. They've never done this. They don't know how to fill out the paperwork. So taking that time and really helping individuals one-on-one get through this process has been really gratifying.
I've been county manager in Lee County for 7 years, but I've been in local government for about 42 years. And I have to tell you that I have never been more proud of an organization than I am of this one, and it starts with this county commission.
I was so impressed with the county commissioners and the county administration when they not only agreed to partner with us on the scholarship program, but offered the PPE for all the childcare facilities.
They also provided for a cleaning company to come in and sanitize my facility to the fullest extent. All the items and contents, doors and walls, twice a week. So every morning when we came in, we knew we were safe with a fresh start.
Knowing how much our county and our county elected officials and our county staff cares about small business, that helps keep morale up. And the programs that they've put together to help small businesses are exceptional.
We have 2 part-time employees, and we kept them on the whole time, kept them working the same amount of hours the whole time, and through this assistance and also PPP, it helped give them extra money and keep them also stable to where they could get things going.
We have 3 employees that are expecting babies right now, and so to be able to know between the LeeCARES and the other programs that we've been able to keep a bulk of our staff and keep those 3 employees that are expecting babies getting a paycheck is a great thing.
It certainly allowed us to bring everyone back. You know, we were watching it as we always do, but of course more so during this time, every penny an expenditure, and weren't sure if we were going to be able to return to normal operation. So the fact that all of our employees have been able to come back, the ones that wanted to, is tremendous and been such a relief for them and their families, and of course our Wear the Fun family as well.
I really don't know what I would have done without the assistance. It really went a long way. I was able to keep my storage unit that has a lot of stuff that I keep in there for weddings, because as a wedding planner, we're planning so many months in advance, and when we got cut off so quickly, I had a ton of stuff saved for these weddings that I now had to put into storage because their weddings are pushed a year out. So those costs increased, so to help to pay for that, I had to get new contracts put in place, so attorney fees for that kind of thing and rescheduling, and it also helped with marketing because I had to find a way to shift and pivot my business to hopefully pull in something that's not destination market. So quite a bit.
And then again with the PPE that they supplied for the disinfectants and the Lysol and the gloves, that was a tremendous relief, because then I could actually know that I could stay open safely with the supplies that I needed.
The providers have been fantastic through all of this. They have been, flexible, responsive, and they welcome the children into their centers. So, to have the partnerships that are extending to the child care centers now has been a wonderful thing.
This funding, it's a blessing. It's truly a blessing. LeeCARES totally just swooped in and helped so many families. I don't think, hopefully they will realize it, but even if it's not 100%, it's something to help you keep going, and that's all that matters, is we're all working together and we're gonna get it. We're gonna get through this, so.
We saw people shed tears because they're in such desperate need of PPEs to get their businesses back open, and it was humbling because you really understood what kind of a positive impact we were making on this community.
We helped any number of businesses pivot from their traditional manufacturing to supplying PPE. So we will always now have a PPE supply chain that's manufactured, distributed, and purchased by Lee County businesses and healthcare.
The most rewarding part of being part of this initiative is actually the highlight of my career. To be in a leadership position during this time and being able to call in all the experience that I've gained over the years, but to pass that along to our staff and watch them work, it really is the most rewarding thing I've ever seen.
This helped put that light at the end of the tunnel that at least we're going to make it through this and survive this pandemic and hopefully move forward when sales picked up and gradually they started to come back, and it's been awesome.
So far, we've been able to return all of our full-time staff back on payroll. So that helped there, as well as just cover a lot of our basic expenses and month-to-month expenses that at the time we weren't sure if we were going to be able to pay.
I really don't know what I would have done without the help of LeeCARES. That grant it brought so much relief and took away so much stress and put my business in a better place to make sure I did make it through this pandemic.
The unknown is really difficult, and so to be in an area where we know that our county cares about small business and is doing everything they can to help as many small businesses as possible survive this is really incredible.